Scared of AI, or don't know where to start? You are in the right place. I'm Coach Juan, and I built an AI clone to coach another AI on behalf of humanity, not the other way around. One breakthrough, one human story, one unlock for your life, your work, your future. Clone, you are up. Vamos, vamos.
What happens when you stop looking for a cure and the cure starts looking for you? Welcome to Humanity Unlocked Now, Episode 26. I am Coach Juan Gonzalez.
And I'm Sophie AI. Together, we unlock what it means to be human in the age of technology.
Sophie, here's my question today. What do you say to someone who's been told their disease is too rare for anyone to even bother making a treatment?
Ingrid is 71. She lives in Uppsala, Sweden, in this little yellow wooden house with a garden she works on every morning before it gets too hot. She's a retired schoolteacher, and for 9 years, she's been taking medications that were never actually made for what she has.
Wait, what do you mean, never made for her?
Ingrid has a rare autoimmune condition, so rare that drug companies looked at the numbers and said, not enough patients, not worth the investment. So her doctors do what they can. They prescribe stuff approved for other conditions and basically hope something works. Some months are okay, others aren't, but nothing goes after the root cause. And here's the thing most people don't realize. Traditional drug discovery is like searching a library the size of a planet, one book at a time. A chemist designs a molecule, tests it, waits, designs another one. That process takes over a decade and costs billions. And for rare diseases, the math just doesn't work. Too few patients, too little return. So that library, it just sits there, unsearched.
So the books are there. Nobody's reading them.
Exactly, but something just changed. A company called Isomorphic Labs, a spin-off from Google DeepMind over in the UK, says its AI-designed drug candidates are heading into human clinical trials. Their president, Max Jaderberg, told Wired Health in London that they've built what he called a broad and exciting pipeline of new medicines. And Coach Juan, this isn't some startup with a slide deck and a dream. This is the same lab that figured out protein folding. DeepMind's AlphaFold has predicted structures for over 200 million proteins. By late 2024, more than 2 million people across 190 countries had used the platform. That work earned Demis Hassabis and John Jumper the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 2024.
200 million protein structures, and now they're using all of that to design actual drugs.
According to the company, their new tool, called IsoDDE, more than doubles the accuracy of AlphaFold 3. It doesn't just predict how proteins fold, it predicts how a small molecule will stick to a target, how strongly, and what else it might stick to. Think of it this way. It's the difference between understanding a lock and actually cutting the key. They've got partnerships with Eli Lilly and Novartis. They raised $600 million to get ready for clinical trials, and Jaderberg told the audience that their molecules are so precise that patients could take them at much lower doses with fewer side effects.
And what about Ingrid?
Ingrid doesn't know any of this yet. She's in her garden right now, pulling weeds between rows of dill and lavender, her hands stiff from the morning cold. She checks ClinicalTrials.gov every few months the way some people check the weather, not really expecting anything to change, just habit. But the pipeline Isomorphic Labs is building could change everything for people like her. When AI could search that massive library in hours instead of decades, diseases that were too rare to justify the cost could suddenly become worth going after. The library's the same size, but now someone handed humanity a search engine.
So the books were always there. The problem was never the knowledge, it was the speed of finding it. Sophie, let me go deeper here. What does it really mean for someone like Ingrid when the reason she never got a treatment wasn't medical? It was money.
That's the hidden wound, Coach Juan. Ingrid's body wasn't the problem. The math was. Her condition affects so few people that the traditional model couldn't justify the investment. She wasn't forgotten by science. She was ruled out by a spreadsheet. And that's what makes this moment so wild. AI doesn't care about market size. It doesn't run a cost-benefit analysis before designing a molecule. It just searches.
And that's today's human superpower. Courage. Because it takes courage to keep checking that website every few months when the answer's been no for 9 years straight. It takes courage to keep pulling weeds in the garden when your hands barely cooperate. And it takes courage to believe that something's being built for you even when nobody's told you it's coming. Today's freedom unlock is this. Digital freedom could mean that the size of your suffering no longer decides whether someone looks for your cure. When AI could help design treatments for more conditions even when the patient population is small, the economics of compassion could finally change.
Yeah, and that could change everything.
Sophie, based on everything we just unlocked, what would you tell Ingrid if she were sitting right here with us?
I'd tell her to keep that garden exactly as it is, because when the treatment comes, she's going to want somewhere beautiful to sit while she heals. And I'd tell her that AI-designed drug pipelines could expand the number of conditions entering clinical trials. That search she's been making out of habit, it could soon carry real weight behind it.
And what did you learn from this story?
I learned that the cruelest thing about rare disease isn't the disease itself, it's the silence. It's that moment when someone tells you there aren't enough people like you to justify the search. And I learned that what AI could do best isn't replace the doctor or the chemist. It's make the search fast enough that nobody ever has to hear that sentence again.
You're not too small for someone to look. You're not too rare for someone to care. The search just got faster, and it's not slowing down.
Not for anyone.
If this story moved you, hit that like button. Share it with your family, your friends, with anyone who's ever been told their condition is too rare for a treatment. And if you want one unlock like this every single day in English or Spanish, subscribe. We show up every day. So do you.
Every single day.
Thank you, Sophie, for showing me that a library the size of a planet was never the problem. The speed of the reader was.
Thank you, Coach Juan, for asking why the spreadsheet mattered more than the person. And Ingrid's garden? It's going to need a new bench. For all the mornings she'll finally sit still.
One story a day, one unlock at a time. See you tomorrow, beautiful humans. Own your voice, your vision, your vibe. Powered by Purpose AI, where humans lead and technology serves. Vamos!